Now, severe thunderstorms and intense rain have battered Sydney and parts of New South Wales, with a clean-up effort underway late into last night. Our reporter Miles Holbrook-Walk is at Observatory Hill for us this morning. G'day, Miles. What's the outlook for the state today?
Well, the good news is, James, there won't be a severe thunderstorm that was forecast initially to hit the southern and central coasts. That warning has been cancelled. That's pretty well where the good news stops. The worst of the weather, though, does seem to have passed, and it was yesterday around lunchtime, depending where you were in the state of New South Wales, where you copped the worst of it. It was a deluge and a downpour. 80 mils in some parts, just dropping on parts of Sydney, which turned, I'm sure, plenty of Super Bowl watch parties into a wet work, and people would have had to run out from the outdoor venue if they were there into indoors, as well as train stations that just became almost like waterfall bastions where they were just absolutely free-flowing there. Now, there were just over 20 rescue efforts, in fact, of cars in Sydney. That was largely due to, as the SES pointed out, that because of the electrics in cars, it does mean that sometimes when they come into these floodwaters, they malfunction a lot sooner, whether that be EVs or just your modern combustible engine cars. They tend to have electrics lower in the vehicle than they used to. We also saw more than 500 calls for help. Many of them were in the town of Harden on the southern slopes of New South Wales, 270 kilometres southwest of Sydney. It was there that we saw some pretty significant hail, so it wasn't just rain for the town there that they had to contend with, and that clean-up effort, as you mentioned, going well into the night. So what does the weather look like for the rest of the state today? Well, we've got two troughs moving over, and essentially we're going to see a fair degree of rain and even thunderstorms in some parts with variable falls. Some places we could see millimetres beyond 20 to 25 range, others kind of below 10, depending on where you are. And really, it is quite almost like a rain lottery, really, in that regard. Those troughs will weaken, and eventually we'll see a cold front come through the state. So summer well and truly seemingly wrapping up in New South Wales right now.